It's also nerve-wracking. I did not sleep last night. I spend most of my day with 6-year-olds, so I'm going to ask you to suspend reality right now, and I would like you to all be my first grade class. So I would like you to all close your eyes, both of them. Now, okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine a bag. The size, shape, and material favored by Mary Poppins. Can you see it? Now keep your eyes closed until I tell you to open them. Okay, now I want you to visualize yourself walking across the stage at your college graduation, and you are handed your diploma, your teaching certification, and this bag. And you're told that everything you need to be an effective teacher is inside that bag. What would be in yours? Think for a second. Think of one thing. Now turn and tell the person next to you. You can talk. Go ahead. How your bag compares to my bag. We're going to start with the really easy stuff. The notebooks, the folders, the pencils, the erasers, the markers, the scissors, the tissue paper, the tissues, and the hand sanitizer that you hope that every child in your class will bring, but many don't. A pair of comfortable shoes. I don't get the high heels at all, but okay. Stain resistant, yet fashionable clothing. A tie-to-go pen just in case. Advil or Tylenol, you choose. Diet soda.
Yes, she loves it.
And plenty of chocolate. And let's not forget that blue sticky stuff that holds the charts to the wall for like, what, 12 minutes or whatever? Those are my staples. Those are the things that I absolutely need. But digging deeper in the bag, you're going to find some less tangible items. A good sense of humor, plenty of patience, and a flexible attitude, which we know a lot about, don't we?
Don't be.
Digging deeper into that bag, you're going to find even more essential items. These are the rose-colored glasses. My husband tells me that I walk around with them constantly. These provide me with the opportunity to see possibilities where others see negative. They enable me to enter my classroom each and every morning with the core belief that anything can happen and the day is filled with possibilities. That child who had a tantrum yesterday will have a wonderful day today. Those children who don't understand that math concept may just grasp it today. These glasses allow me to see that my students teach me as much as I hopefully teach them every day. A learning kit. I borrowed it from 2nd grade. We all believe in the power of teaching, or we wouldn't be teachers. I try to live the life of a learner. I search for every conference, workshop, class, professional article, whatever I can find to make my teaching skills greater. I have been given incredible opportunities to stretch and grow professionally. My reading recovery training was rigorous, powerful, and challenging. I learned how to teach reading that way, and I will never teach reading again the same way. My time at Teachers College, Columbia University's Reading and Writing Project, was inspiring and gave me the desire to give my students different opportunities in writing. I have had the privilege to work with and learn from some of the best educators in our fields, and I stand on their shoulders each and every day as I walk into my classroom. A puzzle piece. We cannot do this thing called teaching alone. I don't know why we ever thought we could. We need to collaborate and share. This helps us refine the practice and the craft of teaching. I firmly believe in collaboration, but not imitation. I believe that what we can do together is far more powerful than anything we could ever do on our own. A book. Not just any book, and really not just one. I'm talking about picture books. And it's not that I don't love chapter books, because I really do. I think they're wonderful in and of themselves. But I'm talking about well-chosen fiction and nonfiction picture books, K to 5. Now, fiction and nonfiction blended in there. Other than the concepts of print, which I think are very directly taught, I can use these 10 picture books to teach any reading and or writing concept that my students need to know, K to 5. You have to realize that these picture book authors only have 32 pages to tell you their story, and they have to share those pages with the illustrators. They are nuggets of wonderful pieces of text. These authors choose their words precisely, and they come out the other end with finely crafted text that we can use. I would like to share one of my favorite with you. Stand Tall, Molly Lou Mellon by Patty Lovell, or Lovell, I'm not sure. But here we go. Molly Lou Mellon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, walk as proudly as you can and the world will look up to you. So she did. Molly Lou Mellon had buck teeth that stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, smile big and the world will smile right alongside you. So she did. It's my favorite. Molly Lou Mellon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, smile, sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy. So she did. Then Molly Lou Mellon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all her friends and start in a new school. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Mellon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, wow, she's good. And Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky-toothed Beaver. Molly Lou Mellon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Now, I'm not going to finish it. If you want to borrow it, just let me know. But what could I teach from this? Well, let's see. Let's just do the overarching themes. I could talk about bullying. I could talk about change. I could talk about friendship, confidence, and family relations. In my reading skills, let's see, I could talk about sequencing, cause and effect, compare and contrast, character, character traits, character motivation. I could talk about author's message, author's purpose. And if I touch deeper, the deeper comprehension skills, or strategies as I call them, I could talk about schema. I could talk about connections, predictions. Don't you just want to know what happens? Mm-hmm. I want to know. Questioning, inferencing, visualization, and summary. In writing a workshop, oh my goodness, I could talk about repeating lines, repeating words, opening lines, closing lines, and word choice, all from one book. A scrapbook, my last item. Now this book starts on your very first day of teaching, and it isn't complete until you lock your classroom door for the final time. It will be chock full of all your triumphs and failures, your highs and your lows, and all the children whose lives you've touched. I'd like to share just one of my pages from my scrapbook. Now, because of confidentiality and privacy, we couldn't use the student's name or picture, so I've changed the name and the picture, but the story is really real. Let's call him Bobby. When I first knew Bobby, he was a red-haired, freckle-faced little boy who struggled in school. He was enrolled in the before-school care and the after-school care because his mother, who was single, worked long hours. I was Bobby's special education resource room teacher, starting in first grade and ending at the end of fourth grade when he and his mom moved to a different part of the state. He had worked really hard and struggled a great deal, and it was hard to let him go. But that's the nature of our job. They move on, we miss them. Now let's fast forward 8 years later. I'm in a totally different school, in a totally different job as a reading recovery remedial reading teacher, and I'm called in my room and told that someone's in the lobby waiting for me. So I trek on down thinking, oh my gosh, is it an irate parent? You know, you don't know what's waiting. And there's this tall, good-looking young man with this big smile on his face, and he holds out his hands to me and he says, hi, Mrs. Trainer, it's me, Bobby. Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. He said that he'd been searching for me for the past 3 or 4 weeks, ever since he'd received his letter of acceptance from the University of Maryland into their honors program with a full scholarship. He said that he had written his essay about a teacher that influenced him. He said that teacher had been the first person to tell him he was smart and capable. And he remembered that teacher had never given up on him and had encouraged his efforts and cheered his successes. He had remembered that teacher had always believed in him. And he had carried that belief all the way through his school years. So he came to thank me for being that teacher. And I did what any of you would have done. I stood in that lobby and I cried like a baby. We really do make a difference. Now, that bag gets heavier every year. And every so often, you go through it in an effort to throw out old notions, to simplify things, and to organize. But no matter how hard you try, that bag fills up every year with your new students, nestled next to your former ones, your new experiences, and all your new understandings. And each night, you snap it shut, hoist it over your shoulder, and you head for home. Although it might not be as magical as Mary Poppins' bag, it is one powerful bag. Now, if I could only master her flying trick, I would have it made. I wish that you have a bag full of wonderful experiences this year. And you just have to remember, you really do make a difference. Thank you.